The overriding question today in most newspapers and most news telecasts is this. What is an essential business? What is a non-essential business? And who gets to make the decision which is which? It draws my mind back to George Orwell, a writer from decades ago who predicted that one day there would be Big Brother. Big Brother would be a bureaucratic state that knew better the decisions that should be made about our lives than we should make about our lives. We just don't have sense enough. Well, we might call him Big Brother, might call him Doting Grandma, but somehow or another we have slipped into that category. Businesses that some would say are non-essential are very essential to that blue-collar man or woman who shed many a tear at night, sacrificed many a dollar, worked many an hour to make it profitable, to suddenly see it all going down the drain. It's very essential to that person. May I suggest to you, if it's a legal business, even those that as a Christian I cannot endorse their services enjoy or their products buy, but if it's legal, government should leave them alone, because capitalism is the greatest philosophy for the world that has ever been demonstrated and showcased, especially in the United States. Capitalism is a work philosophy that says if you work hard, you invest yourself in a business, then you have the right to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and nobody should tell you what you should do and how you should do it. It's hypocritical of the state to say some businesses are non-essential when the state gathers tax money, whether the business is able to be fruitful or not. It's very hypocritical, and we're listening to a doting grandma when we do it. Oh, but you say this is so different. We must get involved. Why? The nation's very health and future is at stake. Really? Go back to 1917 to 1920 and the Spanish flu. 675,000 Americans died. But President Woodrow Wilson said not a word. Congress took no action. No committees were appointed, and there were no lockdowns. Go now with me to 1968 to 1970. Hong Kong flu was raging. 100,000 Americans died, and right in the middle of it in 1969, Woodstock took place in a farmer's field, and 400,000 revelers went there to enjoy the entertainment. No such thing as social distancing with them. Look at the pictures. They were hugging and loving and kissing. They were having fun. No lockdowns. No forbidding of them to do that. No pastors being arrested. No businessmen having their businesses jerked away from them. Doting grandma or Big Brother or bureaucrats who are non-elected, none of that was hindering the flow of business. May I suggest to you, Americans will always do better taking care of themselves than a doting grandma government. We'll always do better. Elderly people know when it's unsafe to leave their homes. People with underlying conditions know when it's unsafe for them to leave their homes. But since we know that 98% of those who even get the virus are going to be okay anyway, then why should we penalize those who have sweat many, many drops of hard, hot, salty sweat working in their business, or cried many an hour at night, or spent many a dollar in investment? Why should they be penalized when previous pandemics knew none of that? I think we should remember what one of our founding fathers very wisely said. The man who gives up his liberty in order to have temporary safety deserves neither liberty nor safety. Benjamin Franklin said that. Maybe you need to hear it again. The man who gives up his liberty in order to have a little temporary safety deserves neither liberty nor safety. We don't need a big brother. We don't need a doting grandma. We don't need politicians and those medically elite telling us how to live our lives when it's going to financially ruin many who choose to follow those guidelines. We don't need them doing that. We don't need them doing that. We need to trust Americans to make the right decisions, whether you're Democrat or Republican, Christian or atheist. Everybody is affected by this virus. Sometimes the worst results of a virus is the cure, especially if it's economic desolation that causes multitudes of suicides, drug addiction as people run from the emotional results and the horror they face, or domestic abuse being rampant. We cannot afford that price. I trust Americans. I simply do. I believe they know more because they have more to lose. And I trust you. This is Harold Hunter. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But more than that, share it and be sure to subscribe. The little word subscribe at the bottom of the video if you haven't already done it. Thank you. Have a good day.